It's a new podcast. Yes, it is. Welcome to the Funk It Pod to Wrestling Wednesday, because it's Wednesday somewhere. We have to talk about all things wrestling this past week, all things professional wrestling, of course, this past week. And so let's just jump right into it. Let's just talk about SmackDown first. SmackDown last Friday, Dee Bry kicks things off with an announcement or with like a proposal, like, hey, guys, let's have it a three-way. Let's just, oh no, not a three-way. Let's have it like, I don't know how to call it, handicap, like a 2 days marathon, a 2 days gauntlet, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. He says, okay, Edge, yo, you deserve it, blah, blah. You go first on day one of WrestleMania, you face the head of the table, and whoever wins faces me on day 2. Edge is like, yeah, you lost twice, so why do you want the match again? And is obviously not amused about this. Things go down south very fast, and that's obviously a no. Adam Pearce says he's gonna make a decision by the end of the night. Then everybody through the show runs into Adam Pearce and threatens him, of course. The first match is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. Good match as always. Also, as always, Shinsuke Nax loses. Seth Rollins picks up the win with a stomp. Nice back and forth, though. Could have been longer. They could sometimes also let Shinsuke Nax take away a victory, maybe, because, I mean, why not? But it was a good match. We then saw Big E and the Street Profits taking on Apollo Crews, Otis, and Chad Gable. And that also was not a bad match, even though, like, this combination, it's like, I don't know, I'm not that invested right now. But in the end, actually, like, also back and forth, everybody hits finishers, of course. That's what you have to do in a 6-man tag. Cruz then put away Big E, stood tall for once. So, well, that was nice. Then we had the KO show with Sami Zayn. Yes, and Sami actually kind of apologized to Kevin Owens. Like, hey, man, sorry for the hell over kick. But then he started rambling again, conspiracy theories, talking about like Logan Paul going to be with him and he's going to have this conspiracy documentary and whatever. And then KO was just like, shut up. You, me, WrestleMania, what's up? Yes or no? And Sami Zayn all perplexed, like, yeah, sure, I guess. Okay, so that's cool that we have this. Then Owens beat down Sami Zayn, stunned him, left, and Zayn was all like, oh, my jaw was selling it. But yes, so it's official. We got Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. I don't care how we got there. We got there. Yes, that's awesome. Then we saw Bianca Belair versus Natalya. And not because of the women involved, but because of the storyline, right? Bianca Belair first tag teaming with Sasha, then of course they're breaking up because the Sasha hit Bianca Belair by coincidence, of course. Yeah, same that happens on Raw. I mean, but Raw started later with it, so of course it happened on SmackDown first. But it happens. That's the average formula they use, right? It's so annoying. Of course, things were breaking down here because, of course, Sasha came to the ring, distracted or tried to distract or whatever. Belair hit her, and then of course tapped Natalya or beat Natalya. But that was not great. We had Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler. Booyaka, booyaka! What's Dolph Ziggler saying? I forgot. That's what shows you that Dolph Ziggler doesn't win much in singles competition. Of course, he also didn't win here. He was beating down. He's the tag team champion. He's beating down Mysterio before the break, and then all of a sudden after the break, like Mysterio was in charge again, and of course, was it a famous or that he escaped or something? The move that Ziggler always does and that never ends a match. And then the 619 and the frog splash, and then that's it. Rey Mysterio wins over Dolph Ziggler. Booyaka, booyaka. The match was decent, right? I mean, but it's just the story behind it. Could you maybe give Dolph Ziggler a win once in a while, especially against like Mysterio that he had under control? Adam Pearce's big decision then at the end. Woo! It's a 3-way. Ooh, what a big surprise. Everybody came to the ring. Then Adam Pearce announces the 3-way. Then everybody brawls with everyone, of course. Edge takes out everybody. That was nice. Takes out everybody. WWE personal coming to the ring. Jamie Noble gets a spear. Oprah gets a spear. You get a spear. Everybody gets a spear or a chair shot. And then at the end, he just sits on a chair, stares into the camera as we end the show. Yes, goosebumps when I just think about what Edge, the Tribal Chief, and Daniel Bryan, what they can create at WrestleMania. I always wanted Edge to win. I still want him to win. But if Deep right now takes the fall, maybe, I don't know. But I still hope that Edge wins, just because for all the feelings for us old people watching wrestling. But yeah, that was cool. They work all well together. They sell well together. You can believe Edge's character development, like why he's so mad and angry right now. He climbed his way back to the top, earned his spot to challenge for a title. And now Daniel Bryan comes in, weasels his way in. Yeah, so very relatable. I like it a lot. I'm looking forward to that match. What I'm not looking forward to every week is watching Raw. Yeah, let's get through it. So, opening segment we had. What did we have? We had the Hurt Business, Lashley, then running down the Hurt Business like you are the reason, you're the losers, blah blah blah. Hurt Business was not amused. Was it Benjamin who shoved MVP, whatever? And Lashley just decimates the Hurt Business and said, "This is over." So this is over now. First match then Sheamus versus Riddle. They have good matches, surprisingly. I didn't think that their styles would gel that much, but the matches are fine. It's just a bit boring by now, but the matches are fine, so they're fun to watch. Sheamus picking up the victory here. What was not fun to watch was Jackson Ryker versus Braun Strowman, because we all knew what's going to happen. He's going to destroy him. And we also know that they're going to have those stupid sound effects again. We also know that it's going to be about Shane McMahon. And, of course, Shane is going to evading Braun and so on, obviously. And then Braun announced they have a WrestleMania match in a steel cage. Braun Strowman, Shane McMahon, steel cage at WrestleMania. That's exactly what we were hoping for, right? Oh, God. See, the next segment then showed that you can be silly and it can be fun. It was completely stupid, the next segment. Yeah, Miz and Morrison. Hey, hop, hop. Miz and Morrison. But it was fun. And if there are two guys who can make some BS fun, it's Miz and Morrison, right? So they had Miz TV, basically, and then they announced the music video that's going to drop next week, where they dress as bunnies. Oh, that's really stupid. And then basically parodying a Bad Bunny song, and it actually had a nice groove to it. So that was. I mean, those two just have to get all the credit in the world for making such a stupid thing actually kind of amusing. I still think it's a stupid idea to have like Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, like Bad Bunny actually in a match at WrestleMania. But okay, whatever. Like at least they make the best out of the segment. So yeah, the Miz Morrison legends, awesome. Then we had the match Lashley versus Shelton Benjamin, because of course the Hurt Business was like, yeah, we're gonna show Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. You go this week, and next week we have Alexander taking on Lashley in case he makes it out of this week. Did he make it out of this week? Obviously he made it out of this week. Yeah, that was an okay match for what it was, but nothing to write home about. Then the New Day game night. That was stupid. I feel bad for the New Day, because usually I like those guys, of course, but the game night with AJ Styles and Omos, and just to show that Omos is the big guy who's, again, of course, stupid because he's big. And I guess they wanted to show that they're not real friends, because so they couldn't play together. The match then AJ Styles versus Xavier Woods was cool. They have chemistry. That's nice. It was all good. It was fun to watch. But this game night thing was just lame. Speaking of lame, Shayna Baszler versus Naomi. There was just like super overbooked, because of course every woman on the roster got involved. Everybody shoving everyone. That was not. The booking was not good. It was not smart. Also a little bit overbooked at the end. Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre, right? Because Lashley was like, whoever takes out Drew McIntyre gets whatever they get. I forgot, like a title shot, I guess, I think. So Ricochet coming out like, yeah, I'm going to take down Drew McIntyre, and he was working him a while, but of course Drew McIntyre countered eventually the 630 splash and then hit a Claymore and then won. Then who else do we have? Then someone else came out and tried to take off or take out Drew McIntyre, and of course McIntyre wins. Yeah, Ali, right, and then of course McIntyre hits another Claymore and wins again against Ali, and so on. So there was just basically establishing McIntyre as this unstoppable force, and then in the end we get, of course, more interference. We see then Lashley being able to apply the hurt lock and then leave McIntyre on the floor and Lashley standing tall. Yeah, it was a bit too much in my opinion, I think. I understand what they're doing, but there was just too much, I think. Like sacrificing everybody just to make Drew McIntyre, I forgot to do it, look strong. Not a big fan of it, to be honest. There were segments with like Shane and then this overbooked women's match. There's like not a strike this week for Raw, but very close to it, like very close. Luckily, 2 days later, AEW Dynamite making up for it. Thank you very much, Tony Khan. Still not sponsored by Tony Khan. Like, what's happening? That was fun. A card, Anarchy. Dynamite kicked off with Christian Cage versus Frankie Kazarian. So finally we see Christian Cage, Captain Charisma, back in action. And it was a really good match. Like, not a squash match, it was a really good match. Kazarian hitting everything at Christian Cage. Christian bumping like hell, looking really good. A flux capacitator. Yes, I said it right on the first take. A flux capacitator, which we don't see that often anymore. Cage kicking out and then eventually taking home the victory, as he has to in this first match. But that was a great match. Lots of fun, like respect to both guys. That was cool. That was a really good match to start things off. What was a bit annoying then was the exhibition match between Cody and QT Marshall, and then Cody didn't apply the figure 4 in between, even though he could, and he held up the ropes for QT Marshall to come back in from the outside. So it's like, hey man, we're friends, and so on. And eventually QT Marshall snapped, punched Arn Anderson, who was like the special guest referee, and then a few guys from the Performance Center, from the Nightmare Family Dojo, Training Center, I don't know how you call it, they jumped and just beat down Cody Rhodes and the Nightmare Family. New heel faction, I guess. Interesting. Why does Cody Rhodes always get betrayed by people close to him? Is he such an asshole? Who knows? That was surprising, though. I'm not sure what to think of it, to be honest. It was a surprise, so that's good, I think. Let's see where this goes. So at least a surprise. I just don't like this. I mean, Cody, I like Cody somehow, but I also dislike him at the same time. I don't know how that works. We then saw Jon Moxley versus Cesar Bononi versus with like JD Drake and a small little Dolph Ziggler, Ryan Nemeth. I'm sorry, don't kick my ass. And of course, those two tried to get involved, but Moxley just cleared everything out and then eventually took home the hard-fought victory. Nice, joking out Cesar Bononi eventually. Then we saw MJF, his gift to the Pinnacle in the locker room that they took away from the Inner Circle. And he's like, oh, this locker room looks like a bit shitty. We should renovate it. I have like a guy here who's like our interior or our, I don't know, designer or whatever. So we're going to all get like nice stuff. And I also want to redesign the bathroom and whatnot to get rid of the smell and shit. And he opens the bathroom door, and in the bathroom, it's the Inner Circle, like Jericho, like with his leather jacket and then like his gloves. And then they try to run away, open the door to the outside of the locker room. It's Jake Hager blocking it and just throwing down. And then the Inner Circle just beating the living out of the Pinnacle. It was a really nice beatdown segment. Well done. Everyone gets it. In the end, like everybody gets it, right? Everyone is left bleeding, thrown through tables, slammed in the doors and so on. And then in the end, Chris Jericho pushes MJF into the toilet bowl, flushes, at least that's what it sounds like, takes him out, throws him around the locker room, and then eventually said, like, the worst is yet to come, and throws him into the refrigerator and through the glass door of the refrigerator. That he didn't bleed, so they didn't blade there. Surprising. But that was a nice visual. Inner Circle reestablished themselves. That was a cool segment. We then had a 6-man tag team match between the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid, the Lucha Tres, Hola, amigos. Yo hablo español. I was about to jump into the Spanish rap from Community. Not gonna do this though. So Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. And it was a great match. I don't know why I'm like making this stupid accent, using the stupid accent. I'm sorry. I don't try to appropriate. So that was a really good match. Lucha Bros, Laredo Kid, Kenny Omega, Good Brothers. They threw everything at each other. The Good Brothers with of course brawling and strength, and the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid with like fast-paced action, jumping here, jumping there. A really cool segment was when they had Kenny Omega rattled. And I think it was Laredo Kid who kicked him. He blocked a V-trigger, I believe. Then he had like a jumping, spinning kick or something to Omega. Omega falls into the ropes. And then was it Phoenix who was doing a drive-by, running on the rope, kicking him, and then Omega would fall back into the ring. That was awesome. That looked really cool. Eventually, however, they battled to the outside and so on. Eventually, Omega would come through in the clutch, would block something from Laredo Kid, and would hit a V-trigger eventually, and the one-winged angel for the victory. But it was a tough match and a really good match. That was fun. It was so much fun. It was awesome. And then, who comes out? It's Jon Moxley. And they're like, yeah, come in, Mox, come in. And then who else comes out? The Young Bucks. So it's 3-on-3 basically. Well, Don Callis is there too. And so like, yeah. And of course, Moxley goes like, all right. And then the Young Bucks and Moxley jump into the ring. But Omega and the Good Brothers jump out. They don't want any brawl right now. So it was also a cool visual at the end. Well done, AEW so far. We also then saw Ty Conti and Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose and Ali, and that was also a bit of an overbooked mess, to be honest. It was still fun, but still a bit messy. In the end, then Vicky Guerrero distracted everybody, and this left Ali with a kendo stick, hitting with a kendo stick, and then picking up the victory. So that was fine, but a bit too much interference there for me, to be honest. What was then amazing was the Arcade Anarchy match between Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, Kip Sabian, and Miro. The back and forth was amazing, like really good storytelling, like in the ring, out the ring. Miro came across like a monster, like a machine, like Miro crush, Rusev crush, Miro destroy. It was amazing. It was really well done. And then the arcades around, and they had like this, I'm not a native speaker, this thing where you have to hit, like when you go to a theme park or a fair or whatever, and that's where they had Kip Sabian in there, and Orange Cassidy would just sit on it. It was kind of fun. The kendo sticks, the trash cans, all those things also around there, and of course arcades where they would throw each other into. Then I think it was Orange Cassidy jumping from a Mortal Kombat, or was it Kip Sabian jumping from a Mortal Kombat arcade down to throw something. Miro picked up a Mortal Kombat 2 arcade, tried to throw it at Kip Sabian, for example. That was all pretty nice visuals, very well done, nice. Then they tried to team up on Miro, but eventually Miro would like fight them all off and have establish his dominance, set up a table, and then Orange Cassidy is trying to crawl away, and Chuck Taylor too. They're both crawling, and then there's a car heading towards him. Like, oh my God, what's happening? It's a car coming. Then it's a van. Do we know this van? The door opens, and out comes Trent. Awesome. Trent comes out, like looks really good, really fit, and of course then takes those guys and like, okay, let's go, let's get at Miro. And then they're beating down Miro for a while. Miro fights back, but eventually the numbers then play a favor of the baby faces here, and then they take out Miro with a spear through the table, and then Kip Sabian is being power slammed by Chuck Taylor from the stage through a table down there, and that's then what gives us the pin. Then the best friends reunited in the ring. Chris Statlander comes out too. They're all hugging with the zoom out. Reunited, thumbs up, and Sue, Trent's mom, still in the van, also with a thumbs up. Fantastic ending to the show. It was amazing. It was so much fun to watch. AEW, you made my wrestling week. Thank you for this. Not sponsored yet. That was fun. That was cool. I love it. Best show this week. Thank you very much. Let me know what you thought was your favorites. What were your favorites? You're looking forward to WrestleMania. What are your picks for WrestleMania? WrestleMania special coming soon to this channel, of course, as well. Until then, take care, and I see you next time.